Okay, what we're going to do first of all is give you an overview of photosynthesis. So we look at the big picture and then we'll focus into the details. So Jeff has kindly put up for us this overall equation, a simplified equation of photosynthesis. So I'll describe that and then we'll talk about the reactions that happen in the chloroplast. And there are two major reactions. You've got the light-dependent reactions, which as the name says is directly dependent on light. And then we have the light-independent reactions. Both occur in the chloroplast, but they occur in different places, and we'll show you that within the chloroplast, because that's vital for the actual processes, okay? So, first of all, in the overall equation of photosynthesis, water is used. They reckon in terms of the total water that's taken up the plant by transpiration, about 1% is actually used in photosynthesis. And the amazing thing about the water is that it's actually broken down and split up to give you the hydrogens and the oxygens and electrons, which actually drive photosynthesis. Then, this overall equation, somewhere in the reaction, the plants will use up CO2, and we'll see just where that happens. They'll take the CO2 in, and then this is the process showing that light energy is involved. And in particular, as Jeff has shown here, the light in the red and in the blue is what's mainly used by green plants. They've got the energies that they actually use to capture that. They capture that in the chloroplast. And then we have oxygen is released somewhere. So plants release oxygen that we breathe. And of course, the product of photosynthesis as well is sugars, and that's C6H12O6. It's just the general equation for glucose, okay? Now what this equation doesn't show is where the reactions occur, and that's what we'll be seeing in the table. And Jeff's running up here to do something. What are you doing, Jeff?
I'm doing this, John. I am.
You're going to put location on you?
I'm going to add to our table.
Good on you. I thought he might.
So there we go.
Excellent. Because as I was looking at it, I was thinking, oh, location is a good thing.
There we go.
Excellent. Thanks, Jeff. Now, as I said, location within the chloroplast is important for the reactions. This equation doesn't really show you where things happen or anything like that. It's just like magic happens here. In essence, what is happening is you're taking low energy carbon dioxide and you're converting it into high energy sugars. The energy is in the bonds of the sugar molecules. But so therefore you're transferring light energy somehow into chemical energy, okay? So that's what plants do. When we break down food, go and have dinner and stuff, we're actually doing a process called respiration, which we mentioned in Unit 2. And within our mitochondria, which are other organelles within our cells, we take the sugars, we use oxygen, and we get energy in the form of ATP out, and we release CO2. So it's almost like a reverse of photosynthesis, as it were. Okay? So let's see, location. The light-dependent reactions, what occurs there is that light, mainly in the red and blue, is captured within special chlorophyll molecules within the chloroplast. We'll see that in more detail when we go to the molecular model. And then that light energy is converted into temporary energy stores. So let's see, location. The light-dependent reactions occur on what are called the thylakoid membranes. Of the chloroplast. So within those membranes, as we'll see, there's a whole range of different proteins which are functioning in creating temporary energy stores. So one input is water. The plants, they take the water. They also get the light, so it uses light as an input into this light-dependent reactions. And it's in the red and the blue mainly, those wavelengths of light. And another input, which is within the cells, is ADP, and that stands for adenosine diphosphate, okay, plus a phosphorus. So what is actually going to happen is this will turn into a temporary energy store. This is two phosphoruses added onto the end of the molecule, and we'll add a third one, that bond will be a temporary energy store. And the other input is nicotine adenine dinucleotide NADP plus, in this case, plus a hydrogen. So what happens is that in the reactions of the light, we get these two guys will get charged up, as we'll see. Okay, so inputs are water, light, ADP plus its phosphorus, and NADP plus a hydrogen, okay? And these are going to be temporary chemical energy stores. And we then have the outputs of this, which is one of the things, the water is split, as we say, and gives us oxygen, which is a byproduct, right? That will be given off into the atmosphere. Very important byproduct. And then, as I say, these two guys, the adenosine diphosphate plus its becomes adenosine triphosphate, ATP, and it's got that extra phosphorus which gives energy. And then the NADP gets a hydrogen on the end, so it gets reduced to give a hydrogen. So these are actually temporary energy stores which will be involved then in the next stage of the reaction. Now, as you see here in the light-dependent reactions, there's no sign of CO2 yet. Okay, so all that's happened is that the thylakoid membranes, the chloroplast, the chlorophyll, has actually captured the light energy. Water has been split at this case to release the oxygen, and then the hydrogens and electrons are used to drive making these temporary energy stores. But again, as I say, there's no carbon dioxide yet.